So this medical equipment Israel allows into the Gaza Strip as humanitarian aid, but instead of reaching the population itself, it is captured by Hamas, and they're using it for terrorist activities inside Israel, like on October 7th. Some of it is even made in Israel. Now this kit is a legitimate kit for learning medical procedures on babies. You can buy it off the shelf, but if we would have captured it inside a hospital or a clinic, it would be legitimate. But we captured it inside a tunnel in Gaza, and since we know the context of kidnapped Israeli babies, this suggests that it was part of a plan to kidnap, and with some chance of kidnapping babies. So they wanted to learn how to treat them. Mm-hmm. This is the flags. This flag comes from not part of the October 7th. This comes from the Judah and Samaria during the same period. But this Hamas headband or body band was used as part of the attack. This is another medical bag with the same. This has a bit more stuff in it that was kept. Uniform. We captured many uniform suits in their bags. Personal opinion, after a few days of fighting, you would want to change your clothes, which suggests that this was not a short few hours operation, but the plan was longer. The second reason that you want clothes is if you want to dress someone up so he will not look civilian. Again, this suggests that kidnapping was part of the plan for the attack. These are most of those are AK-47. Those were part of the attack on October 7th. You can see some are burnt and broken as part of the fighting, and some are in really good condition. On October 7th, 99% of the weapons that were used by the terrorists were AK-47, in order to make sure that the ammunition is the same for everything. Inside Gaza we find different kinds of weapon which need different ammunition. But on October 7th they kept the ammunition simple. So if one terrorist finished all his magazines, he can pick a magazine from the one that goes with him and continue fighting. From the different types of AK-47, it looks like that this is a black market. Not one big shipment, but many purchases for a long time. You see that there are many manufacturers here. There is the Russian, Ukrainian, Bulgarian, Romanian, North Korean, even Egyptian makers. And it looks like purchases over a long time from everything that you can buy. Not a single supply, except those ones. Those are AK-103. This is an advanced type of the Kalashnikov. It is using the same ammunition, but it is more advanced. And these, you can see they look relatively new, and we see that it is a good batch from the original manufacturer. Probably Shahid. Another distinction is these weapons. This is the AK-74U. This is a micro. They call it Bin Laden because Bin Laden was carrying the same. You can see that it is a lot shorter than the normal Kalashnikov, and this is the only kind that fires different ammunition. You can see that the bullets are different here. Now, we captured very small quantities of these. This is for high-ranked terrorists, and those are mainly Nukhba, which is again for the commando, and since those are more advanced. RPG-7s, again like the Kalashnikovs, we find different manufacturers from different years. Some of those are really old, and the only thing to notice is the green ones. Those are made by Hamas inside Gaza, because this is just a tube with a trigger mechanism. You can see on the original ones that there is a difference in diameter. There is a lot of effort put in the original ones to protect the launcher. On the Hamas ones, they just cut a tube and attach a trigger mechanism to make it fire rockets. They don't care about anything. On the other side, you can see some diving equipment. This was captured in the Zikin beach, where they entered through the sea. And the one on top came from inside Gaza, from their commando base. So flags and knives, we captured many Hamas flags on the equipment that they used on October 7th. This is Islamic Jihad, and this is Fatah, as you probably can read. And this is upside down. Let's turn around. But knives, we found many knives, and you can see different types. Kitchen knives, commando knives, gardening knives, and even some homemade, like this first one, homemade knives. V-tail UAV. This is a suicide UAV. They used at least 4 of those on October 7th to attack the military bases. This one we brought from inside Gaza in its original crate. What they do, this is using an electric engine, and they use an RPG rocket inside that they change the mechanism so the flight computer triggers the RPG warhead. So again, we see different kinds in Gaza. This is the smallest one. During the first days of the attack, they used many of those. Nowadays, they don't use almost any. We captured many of those on the ground in the crates. Different kinds of weapons, the sniper rifles, the Dragonov. This one, I don't know if you've seen, but there is a famous video of a gun that was brought out of a teddy bear, a doll in a kid's room inside Gaza. So this is the specific gun that came from within the teddy bear. These sniper rifles were part of the October 7th attack, the second from top, and this one with the band-aid. They are used as light sniper rifles to be part of the attack, but we also find them inside Gaza. The shotguns and the FN we found inside Gaza. As I said before, different guns, different ammunition. Not very common, but they have different types of guns inside. PK submachine guns. We see 3 distinct manufacturers: the original Russian one, Chinese one, and an Iranian one. This was also part of the attack, not in huge numbers, but we captured almost 50 on October 7th with their ammunition, which I don't have here somehow. They didn't brought it from the storage. But this is a submachine gun that you can, a machine gun that you can carry and run with it, unlike the big ones that you cannot carry. This is stationary. On the other side, these are heavy sniper rifles, 0.5 caliber, El Sayad, which is made in Iran. It is a copy of the Austrian Steyr sniper rifle. Pretty effective. Those were not part of the assault. They didn't enter Israel on October 7th, but they fired from within Gaza to our military compounds on the border. And inside Gaza we captured dozens of them already. These are rocket launcher control units. RLCU is rocket launcher control unit, and this is the Hamas logo. You can see also inside here that this is a rocket launcher control unit. This came from within Gaza, and this is it looks like a normal electricity box, but it is in charge of launching rockets into Israel on pretty fine times. Now this comes with its own electricity package, 2 of those of battery packs to make sure that it works even when there is no electricity. So once it is programmed, it will fire the rockets even in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It doesn't need anything.
Timer.
Yes, timer and program, a computer program. This is a manual launch pad for rockets. And an operating system for electric charges with Baha Abu Lata on it. This is Islamic Jihad. Those came from within Gaza, not part of the October 7th attack.
This one, Bia.
This is again a launch operating system, like the one with the buttons. The buttons here are more like touch buttons, and this works with communication. It's a different kind of launch panel, but again, this is Hamas. Okay, this is Strela SA-7 anti-aircraft rocket launcher. You can see it's the original Russian one. We captured around 10 of those on October 7th inside Israel, and again, this is anti-aircraft rocket. Those are carrying cases for the RPG rockets. You can see that it has the Hamas logo and a manufacturing date and even a serial number. They used these tubes to keep the rockets safe when they are transferring them in using the pickup trucks. And you see that this is 2023 May, but we have captured also ones from 2017. See here? Now this is, in practice, this is a sewage tube, which again we allow into Gaza in order to let them build, but instead of building their infrastructure, they're using it as a weapon. Discuss this later. So, rockets. These are all launched from the RPG-7 launchers that we've seen before. These two are the original RPG-7 manufactured in these ones in Russia and Bulgaria. Those two. Those three are called F7. Those are manufactured in North Korea, and they are anti-personnel, which means that they create a shrapnel cloud, like a grenade when they explode. These are, they're supposed to be, originally they are anti-tank, but they're not too efficient against modern tanks. This one is Iranian, it's made in Iran. They create the first warhead and the second warhead, so it will penetrate heavier ammo. And they're using the North Korean rocket engine for the rockets. These two are made in Gaza. They picked the first warhead of a different RPG. This warhead they create themselves, and again they're using the rocket engine of the North Korean ones. This one is both warheads are anti-ammo, and this one is the second warhead here is filled with thermobaric explosive. If you've seen the videos, there are some rooms that were totally burned, and also the ambulance in the Nova party area. They were firing these rockets, which the first warhead penetrates the wall, and the second warhead that explodes inside the room creates an explosion that raises the temperature to 3,000 degrees, which means everything inside incinerates. Nothing stays. The whole room is black. Everything is burned. People, furniture, everything that's inside. In terms of numbers, we captured hundreds, if not small number of thousands, after October 7th inside Israel. After everything that they fired, it's a huge number of rockets. This charge was created specifically for the Merkava 4 battle tank, the Israeli battle tank. According to what they believe is if they attach magnetically, this is a magnet, see? So if they attach it to a specific point on the tank, give it this angle, and they trigger the explosive here, it will go through the tube, through this point in the tank, and hit an ammunition box inside to make the tank explode from the inside using its own ammunition. This was created specifically to hurt the Israeli main battle tank, and this is not a device that you can create by looking at a tank from 2 kilometers using binoculars. You cannot analyze the tank to figure out the angle and the size of the charge that you need. This is a state-level intelligence, Iran in this case, that analyzed our tank and created a device to hit it. Now, instead of hitting tanks on October 7th, they used this on civilian vehicles. We removed many of these from vehicles in the Nova party area, in the parking. They just attached it to the fuel tanks of the cars and tried to ignite them. Some of them worked, some of them didn't work, but we captured many of these in the trucks, on the terrorists, and on civilian cars. This is a thermobaric grenade. Just as the thermobaric rocket, it contains the same thermobaric explosive, but they use it as a grenade. For example, they entered houses that we see evidence where they opened the door to a safe room, threw this inside and closed the door to burn everybody inside. These are 60 millimeter mortar shells. They look exactly like the American ones and the Israeli ones, but those are made in Iran. on October 7th, we captured almost 100 of these shells inside Israel. The big machine gun that lies there, this is the Dasheke. It's a Russian machine gun, heavy machine gun. At least 2 of those were mounted on the pickup trucks on October 7th. This one is even heavier. They fire 0.5 caliber of rounds. This is even heavier. This is called KPV. You can see the rounds. Those are 14.5 millimeters. Originally, this is the anti-aircraft machine gun, as you see on the tripod itself. One of those was mounted on a pickup truck that came into Israel on October 7th. It was captured, and we brought a few more from within Gaza. Explosives. Except the brown ones here, everything else is made in Gaza. Not everything, almost everything else is made in Gaza, except those 2. Those 2 are made in Iran. This is a plastic explosive, a copy of the American C4, and this is a pound of TNT, but made in Iran. We know that because of the compound. The explosive compound is different than what the Americans and what we are producing. All of these charges are made in Gaza. For example, you can see here in this part, you can see the brown part on the bottom is a TNT, and they use aluminum to create this triangle shape, which is a liner to cut metal. And you can see that they're even using dual-sided glue to make sure that it glues to whatever they want to explode. They put a detonator here, glue it to a window or a door or anything, and just detonate it to create an explosion that will cut the metal. Now we see, for example, this explosive frame is using exactly the same materials. You can see that this is the plastic part, just as this one. They put a detonator here with hinges. They just hang this on the fence, and once it detonates, it just opens like a door in any fence. So these are all different kinds of charges that are meant for breaking our fence. This is unique because this was created specifically to remove a bar that would stop cars from entering Israel. So during a civilian demonstration where they came to the fence to demonstrate against Israel, they took measures of this bar, and then they went back and created this using just a normal closing mechanism. You know, from any house you can have this. This is filled with explosive material, again with the triangle shape, and once they try to breach, they just close this over the metal bar, and once it detonates, it just cuts the bar, so the pickup trucks can go in. This is a garden hose that's you can see here. It's made in Egypt. But it is instead of used to water the garden, they filled it with TNT. This is sealed with epoxy, and here you can see again a screw for the detonator. And once you have this, you can detonate it around antennas, around poles, around cameras to remove them. This is an explosive that you can shape. These are what they call TV charge. It is like the American Claymore. This is anti-personnel charge. You can see here, this one took a bullet, and through it you can see the balls that are meant to hurt personnel. So this is basically an iron cast with layers of TNT, epoxy glue, and ball bearings. This one is Shawaz anti-tank explosive charge. It carries between 5 and 8 kilograms of explosive. We know it since probably 2002. We brought many of those on the 2014 conflict, and many more in this war. This one is a flying shrapnel charge. It is both anti-tank, you can see by the cone shape. This one is a lot more cone, since it is only anti-armor. This one is anti-armor with shrapnel. You can see here the ball bearings also. So this is both anti-personnel and anti-armor. Now, on October 7th, we captured roughly 50 of each type of charge. Now, explosive charges is not something that you use in an attack. Explosive charges is defense equipment. So, just by looking at those devices, I understand that what they wanted to do is to conquer land and then defend it, which they didn't succeed. You see here imitations of AK-47s, of M16. These came from schools and kindergartens inside Gaza, not from military compounds. So, in the school of my daughters, they don't have these kind of toys.
On this one?
Those two are, you can see it is really homemade, but those are rocket launchers that are meant to launch a specific rocket that is called S5. It's a North Korean rocket that originally it is being launched from helicopters. It is an electric ignition rocket. You see it's just a normal tube with a car lift, and these are construction metals, but it is just used to make sure that the rocket is aimed at the correct position, and they ignite it using wires. But this is not meant to fly into Israel. They are firing it on our soldiers inside Gaza. Both launchers. Both launchers are firing the same rockets. This is not very common, but we captured a few of those already.